Then, want a secure place to live when the world ends? Consider a new underground condo, but you better have cash to burn.
Some of the people who have purchased these are from all over the world, and they already have a place in Maui, they have a place in Manhattan, so this is maybe the next luxurious thing to buy.
The condo's pool and grocery store take up 14 floors below the ground. It's Colorado Matters from Colorado Public Radio. I'm Elaine Grant. Ever heard of the show Doomsday Preppers? It follows people who are planning for the end of the world.
Across the country, ordinary Americans from all walks of life are taking whatever measures necessary to prepare.
I'm preparing my family for the total destruction of the power grid.
For centuries, people have been predicting the end. The difference is today, a growing number of people are putting down big bucks for a secure place to live in case there's a world-ending disaster. Earlier this month, Logic Integration, a Colorado company, won an award at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. The company designed all the technology for a new luxury development below the ground. Picture a high-rise, except that the 14 floors go down, not up. Each unit goes for $2.5 million. Shawn Hansson is the founder and CEO of Logic Integration. He spoke with CPR's Andrea Dukakis.
Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to post a short video so listeners can really see what these condos are like. But they're basically a fancy underground development with lots of high-tech equipment, and they're located on the plains of Kansas. Is that right?
So there are abandoned silos throughout the United States, and there's a handful of them in Kansas. And so the developer basically purchased up a couple of them in Kansas and emptied the water out of them and cleaned them up and has turned them into multi-level residences.
I understand the residences are on the lower floors, and then the top levels are more communal. Describe what the place looks like when you first walk in.
So when you arrive at the facility, you walk in the main entrance, past the security, and you're wowed by a very impressive large indoor pool. And this is not your residential small home pool. I mean, it has a water slide, there's a rock climbing wall. And then as you go around the facility, there's a dog walking park. And then on the next level down, there is an indoor grocery store. There's medical facilities. There's a security facility, a holding cell. If there's a misbehaving homeowner or guest, they can actually lock them up. And so there's food storage. There's a lot of cool amenities.
And these were featured on the show Doomsday Preppers, which we referred to earlier. And we can't know exactly where they are, right?
It is a secret. All we can say is it's in Kansas.
And your company didn't design and build the development, but you did all the technology for it, which is why you won this award. Describe some of the technology.
You walk in. The lights will turn on depending on what time of day it is. So if it's morning, afternoon, or evening, the lighting control in the room and throughout the residence will match what time of day it is. There are LCD screens around the residences, turned sideways, and what they are is they're virtual windows. So if you walk by those virtual windows, it actually can change your view that you choose. So if you want to see San Francisco, or if you want to see New York outside your window, it'll put up an image of that, but it actually moves. So as you're walking by the window, the view angle will change.
So it's like a real window. And then you can also look outside to the landscape that's around these silos, correct?
Yes. So we have multiple cameras that are high definition, and they're turned sideways also, so that as you're looking out the virtual windows, you can see the outside views of Kansas. So if you wanted to look at the windmill or whatever you want to zoom into, you can view that. So when people come in for vacationing or just to visit, or if it really is the end of the world and they come out there, we wanted to give them amenities throughout the facility. So we provided the technology and the back end to do that.
So this is maybe where someone would choose to go to relax or go on vacation. I can't quite imagine going underground to go on vacation.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing when I did my first visit. But what they've done is they've designed the facility to be like any other residence inside, being able to be comfortable and make it so it's not It doesn't feel like you're underground. So some of the people who have purchased these are from all over the world, and they already have a place in Maui. They have a place in Manhattan. So this is maybe the next luxurious thing to buy.
How many condos are there?
There's 14 floors. And so there are approximately 7 units.
Okay.
Now, one person has purchased more than one floor. And since the beginning of the project, they've actually added hotel rooms and additional units. So I would say there's about 7 to 9 units plus 4 hotel rooms.
You're listening to Colorado Matters. I'm Andrea Dukakis. We're speaking with Shawn Hansson, whose Lone Tree-based company helped design luxury condos, only they're underground. They're for people who want a nice and secure place to live if the world comes to an end. So let's say there's a major world-ending disaster. Can people just stay in these condos indefinitely?
The plan and lifespan of the food and the resources and the fuel and the water is about 5 to 7 years.
So they can stay there a pretty long time. Where do they get the food?
They have a food storage facility. It's dry food storage, and it's quite large. And the massive storage of water that they have underground, there's a lot of water.
So there's a major natural disaster, or let's say there's a big terrorist attack. How do folks get to the facility?
There are a lot of plans put in place with each resident. There are standby planes at different airports. There are assault vehicles that can be driven. There's even plans, walking plans. You know, the average human can walk 15 to 20 miles a day, they say. So there's a lot of different things in place to get to the facility.
What happens if the grid goes out? How do you have electricity?
Sure. That's a very good question. A lot of people ask it. They have multiple sources of power. So they have the windmills. They have a battery backup system. It's an entire room with batteries, all on a computer system to manage the load. They also have 2 Cat diesel generators with 10,000 gallons of diesel fuel. And a lot of people will ask also, well, how can you store fuel that long? The fuel actually has a filtration system that lets the fuel not go stale. And so it actually circulates the fuel and cleans it and filters it.
There's a developer who built this place. He's bought a condo, I believe. And are the rest spoken for? They
are all taken. And we are starting number 2. And it'll be complete at the beginning of 2015.
Same area?
It's about, I'll just give it a range, 15 to 30 miles away. And it's going to be 40% larger. It will hold more people, bigger pool, bigger theater, bigger facilities. So pretty exciting.
Why is this becoming popular now? What is it about this time that is making people prepare for the end?
I think all the things like there's all the political issues going on in all the different countries. There's the weather changing, are all causing anxiety in people. And I think that it's becoming more public and talked about amongst friends and communities, and therefore the demand for these facilities is getting bigger.
Shawn, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Shawn Hansson is the CEO and founder of Logic Integration in Lone Tree, south of Denver. He spoke with CPR's Andrea Dukakis. You can see a video of the underground development at cprnews.org.